Thank you, the same.
Good to see you, Kevin, Tavo, Vidar, Samu, Helly, Katya. Good, good day today. Very good day today. So I wrote in the description the benefits of fast. And there is some benefits of a fast, and there is some benefits to move fast for sure. So it was a little bit of a play on words there. But I think that one of the things that I realized here just actually 2 days ago, 2.5 days ago, 2 days ago it is, was I promised myself, because after I've done a fast, so physical fast for either 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days, I feel so great. And there is so many health benefits to it. So every time I do it, I promise myself that I'm going to do this every month. And then comes the next month, and I don't do it. And then comes the month after that, and I don't do it. And then comes the month after that, and I don't do it. And then I maybe do one again, and then comes next month, and I don't do it. And I set myself that if I don't do what I've promised myself to do, I can't trust myself. So then what do I have? So right now I'm on hour that would be hour 49. So on the 49th hour, it's into the pleasure zone. So it's hard to start. Then the place where most people drop out is around 24 hours. And then the next time you really want to drop out is just before 48 hours. You really do want to drop out. You hate, hate, hate that you're that hungry. But then you cross across 48, 49 hours and you're in ketosis and you've got lots of energy and you don't need food. And I won't need food now for at least 2 days. Then you get to day 5 and you kind of miss, then you kind of get this cravings here. You miss eating food. If you pass through that, you're fine for 6 and 7. And then let's see how far I take it, if it's 5 days or 7 days. That's depends on how I feel. If there is still no worries on day 6, I will be fine. If I can't exercise properly on day 6, then I'll start eating again slowly because I do want to exercise every day. So that's kind of my routine. So that brings me to, we built fast in November and you want to do it again. And you promise yourself that I like this. I want to get people started. I want to have people go crazy after getting customers. I want people to rank advance in my team. I want people to do more than they've ever done before. And then comes December, and already now you're wondering if you're going to keep the promise to yourself on this is your new life. This is what you want to do. Are you catching the little analogy here? And there might be some technical aspects to it. Helly asked me some questions, but then there is some discipline aspects to it too. Because we know the benefit, but we also know that it's some work that it takes to reap the benefits. And that is the discipline area. Then when we get to the benefits, we're all just happy with that we did. So right now you've got a lot of new people on your team, and you've got some of your old people closer to A team, as an example, closer to pro team than ever before, but they exhausted their list in November. And you're now going to get them excited again to cross above A team and to cross above pro team or to cross above top team in December. And that will take everything that you've got, because you got to bring the best out of them one more time. Now, how do we do this? there is, of course, multiple ways. I think one of them is to look at their very factual things like you get 20, but you're qualified. Let's say that they're qualified A team, they're going for pro team. You're getting 20% of every sale now. If you drop down, you do the same sale in January, you're going to get 10. So we at least got to maintain the credits for A team. Are you catching that? So they might have 10 customer points, but they don't have the credits for being Zinzino for free next month. So we at least got to do the credits. So that kind of gives them into, okay, it's not that far. And I got to do the credits. I have the points. I got to do the credits. So then I've got January to get more points and more credits again. Then if they then get started with doing the credits early in the month, we create the November effect. Because then we're getting to the close of the campaign and they can smell that they could actually have enough points, enough credits for the next rank up, which would give them the bonus. Now, on the other side, when we start with the people that maybe don't have a enrollment goal, they just have customer goals, and we get them moving really quickly, this feeds new credits to the uplines that then have building a rank goal, but they're getting close to the cab bonuses just on the customer volume. So that feeds a positive psychology. Getting closer to the minicab, the donut is closing, it's getting more and more green. Watch that in the back office, that's a positive thing. It makes you feel better. Now, in addition to this, you have all the fast start people. And the fast start people, well, they got to go for the Q team. That's, again, customer related, so same process. But we also got to get them to go for their recruit too, because that's the duplication that Kurt wants, that Paivo wants, that Chris wants, that Matti wants, that Kristen wants, that everyone wants. That's the duplication. Now, the duplication was what Hallie asked me about. Well, we have them, but we don't get them to book meetings. Tell me something new. My entire business has been built with a majority of the people don't wanting to book meetings, okay? I've never had a day in my life where I had every call that I did to say, I can't believe it, all my new prospects, all they want to do is book meetings. Can you please stop them? So don't tell yourself the business is failing because of this. This is the mental side of the business. You can't be psyched out because people don't want to book meetings. It's like having, I don't know which example I should. It's like a father or a mother coming to me and say, I'm failing with my kids. They don't want to clean up their room. The kids are not supposed to want to clean up their room. That's why we call them kids. Give me a break. If your kids wants to clean up the room, you better take them to the shrink and make them more kids. I do have Sarah. She once in a while cleans up everywhere around the house. So she has got that gene where she likes cleaning up. But then again, 4 out of 5 days, her room is a mess when she leaves it. Okay, so just because she have the gene doesn't, so this is normal. People are not normally just going to take the business away from you. If they wanted to book meetings, why would they want to meet with you? They would have already have done it. So this is our fundamental work, is to get people to do what they don't want to do naturally. I'm not saying that we're going to force them to it. We're going to get them to like it. So the steps of getting somebody to like it is that they need to find a why that doesn't necessarily make them cry to begin with, because that's too much to ask, but a why that makes it worth it. And as we develop that why, it becomes more and more worth it. Here is a list, no priority. I don't have it in front of me. So I'm just going from the top of my mind. Okay, here is a list. If they like me, they're more likely to do it. If I'm working with Vidar and Vidar is their sponsor, if they like Vidar, they're more likely to do it. If we do it together, they're more likely to do it. If we get them to set a financial goal, they're more likely to do it. If we get them to set a personal health goal, they're more likely to do it. If we get them to set a goal for helping people with their health, they're more likely to do it. And you could throw in ideas to the list if you have any. I need some water here. I'm on a water fast, so I'm running low on water all the time. If we put a smile on their face, so they have fun, they're more likely to do it. If they read a book, they're more likely to do it. If they listen to a Go-Core, they're more likely to do it. If they use the products, they're more likely to do it. If they take a before picture, they're more likely to do it, especially after the after picture. If they take their balance test, they're more likely to tell somebody about it. So everything that we do brings them to be more likely to do it. So it's not a one formula, it's not a specific, this is the way and this is the way it's done. If we tell them that they're going to be successful, they're more likely to do it. If I tell Vidar, I love your caps, he is more likely to book a meeting. If I tell Thomas that, oh, it's so nice to see you, I like your smile, or I like your hair, or I like your ears, whatever you feel like. Are you catching this? They're more likely to do it. If I recognize them for what they've already done, they're more likely to do it. So this is the work of getting people started. It's sometimes one conversation and they get started. Other times it's 50 text messages back and forth before they get started. Other times it's 3 meetings before they get started. Sometimes I've spent days on getting a person started. But I know that for every time I do an action that puts positive things, a little gift. So write a personal card, Christmas card, hand it to them where you appreciate them. If you have met them before, give them a compliment, send them a text message. If you're their sponsor, drop the card in the email and write on it must be opened before Christmas. Open immediately so that they open the Christmas card where you tell them something positive. So it's about putting chips in. Let's look at it as a scale. Everyone starts here. They're not going to do anything. And then you start throwing things on, and sometimes they come up here, and then you throw things on, and sometimes they come here, and then somebody throws something on that side, and they go back here. Mom needs them to help them put out the Christmas tree, and they're back here. And then you throw in things, and eventually they get up here. And that's when they book the meetings. And that's when you start this process of duplication. Any questions? Because I don't think I've ever done a training as thorough on this area before in my entire career, actually. And I realized that it's probably useful. But do you have any questions? Yes, Tavo? Tavo.
Thank you, Ørjan. Not any questions, but I can promise that I do very crazy and fanatic things during whole next year, and I'm going to show to whole Finland that everyone now they think that I'm crazy, but I'm going to show that this is just a start. After 2025, whole Finland knows how crazy I am. That's for sure. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to personally recruit 30 person with Ultimate Partner Kit during 2025, and most of my partners get to top team in the year 2026. That's my goal. And one more thing, what I say to all of you here, and what I say especially to you, Heli, during next 3 years, I'm going to be go past you, my mentor.
That's super.
Fantastic. I love that. And keep your top team 200 qualification for the money and for the example. That's my biggest recommendation. Keep your rank for the money and for the example. Whoever achieved A team, pro team, top team 200, top team 300, keep your rank, keep your qualification for the money and for the example, because that's how the organization develops. Any other have comments? Desa, you have a question? You have your hand up, or was by mistake?
Yes, I have question.
Ah, good.
Yes,
You
I
disappeared
just,
from camera. You were on camera and then you disappeared.
yeah, can I put it? I was just sleeping, so.
Ah, okay, no problems. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question because I just started now,
Yeah,
and I don't know how to start from 0
yeah.
to 10. Like, how can I start? Like, how
Did
can I
you
start?
did you write your name list yet?
I actually going to start, so I need help.
Okay.
Like, how can I do?
First thing is just freely brainstorm 100 people. I want you to take the people that you have on the top of your mind. I don't want you to go to the phone to begin with. Just brainstorm it freely. Then when you get to 40, 50, you might be then running out of from the top of your head. Then go to the memory jogger in the express start and
Yeah.
just look through chiropractor, dentist, friend, neighbor, church, sports, all of these categories. And each time you say a category, new people will pop up. When you're done with 100, you say, okay, who is the 10 people I think is the most likely to buy anything from me?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the start. And then you book the meeting with those 10. And I would prefer that you start with a partner recruitment, because that's what everyone needs to get used to. It's easier
Yeah.
with customers. And if they say no to be a partner, your best friends will say yes to be a customer, most likely. Then you book the meeting and you meet them together with your sponsor or one person in the upline, and they help you do the presentation.
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah, my pleasure. Helly?
Yeah, I just had coaching with Desa yesterday, and Desa was like asking question. We went through, the booking process. So what is your advice, Ørjan, for the new person for booking? Like, what is the most safe way to do it in the beginning? We went through the Express Start examples, but do you have some special tips?
So for the 10 most important people in your life, your top 10, I follow the script. I always follow the script when I book a meeting, but I follow the script with my customization, and I'm become pretty good at it. But I'd say, let's say that I was booking one with Kristen, person I've known for a long time. I say, hi, Kristen. She would answer, and then I'd say, hey, could we meet, have a coffee one of the upcoming days? Coffee would be natural to book with her because we usually don't go for dinners, okay? So you know a lot about this person, so follow the natural pattern. I wouldn't say to my mom, could we go for a coffee? Because I never go for my coffee. I'd say, Mom, can I come over to your house? Because that's where the natural pattern with my mom is. If it was one of my friends, some of them would coffee, some of them would be a glass of wine. They would maybe drink beer, but I would drink wine. Some of them would be a business meeting. If I was booking with lots of my friends, I'd say, I'd like to meet you for business. because I'm used to meeting them for business, or I have a great idea that I'd like to discuss. So follow the natural pattern and book the time and place in the natural pattern. Then when you book that, you say, and by the way, I'm going to bring with me Hallie because she is a new friend, we're business colleagues, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've just gotten involved with. Then if Kristen has a question, I said, brilliant question, I love it. I'm going to answer all of that when we meet 2 o'clock on Tuesday anyways. And if she says, well, I need to know something, she's not from your top 10 list. Then you're booking with somebody that is after your top 10, if you get it. Now, let's move through the top 10. You should get 80, 90% of them to meet with you in a week or two, even on Zoom. If you can't meet them, hey, you're living in Paris, I can't meet you now. Could we meet at Zoom because it's something that is important for me? So your top 10 accepts that. It's not a problem between the top 10. Now, when you move out of your top 10, you're going to meet critical questions. Not criticism, don't misinterpret it, critical questions, because they're not as sure about you as they want to be, and that's why they ask questions. Sometimes be polite, sometimes because they're uncertain and they're unsecure. Now, again, I booked the meeting according to how I always book the meeting. But in the beginning now, I need to have a more of an introduction in the call. I don't call up mom and say, hey, it's so long since we talked, mom, okay? I don't do that. That's not my natural pattern. So if I was calling Vidar, we don't talk every day, but with Vidar, it would be unnatural to say, it's so long since we've seen each other. Even though it's a few months, it would not be natural. As soon as you leave your natural pattern, they are going to be more skeptical. So I'd say, hi, Vidar, how are you? How is work going? That would be a natural pattern with Vidar because I ask that nearly every time I call him. Correct, Vidar? And then we talk about his friends in the US, and then we talk about a couple of other things. Then we talk maybe about his health, then we talk maybe about his relationship life and how that's developing. And then I would say, hey, we got to meet. Because then I'm true with all the things that is customary to talk about on the phone call that I would have anyways. Then I say, hey, Vidar, could we meet either for your lunchtime, because he's got a day job and I know he's got an hour lunch break and I know exactly where I could meet him for the lunchtime. And that'd be very easy for him and he wouldn't say no. It would be harder to meet Vidar in the afternoon, but completely possible. But I know that Vidar is a guy that could meet me for lunch. So I would naturally pick the time I know is most likely to say yes. Are you catching this? So if it's an afternoon, I said, I can't do lunch for many weeks, but could you meet me in the afternoon? See, so I would pick the thing that would be natural and say, I can't do that many weeks. Would it be okay to meet at a different time? Or I'm out of town or whatever it is, I can't meet you in person, but it's too important, let it go. Could we do a Zoom? So if it's natural to meet them in person, I say, I would love to meet you in person, but I can't do it for many weeks. It's too important to pass up. Could we do a Zoom? And then when can we do it? Well, tomorrow night, lunch, morning, whenever it is. And then Vidar might have a few questions. Then I answer the question. It says, what is specifically about? It's about a business. What kind of business is it? Well, I'm pretty new to it, but I've got Kristen with me. She's one that I teamed up with. We'll show you everything when we meet. And the reason why I got triggered to do it is that I took a health test and it shocked me that, or I took a health test and I'm curious to find my results, but Kristen said that her results was terrible. And she is like, more diet freak than anybody else I know, so I'm sure that mine will be terrible, and I want to talk to you about it. Would that be okay? You get to know everything on Thursday. See, so again, I'm following the script, but depending on the person I call, since it's the people that I could brainstorm without using my phone, I know a bunch of stuff about them. And that's what I call the natural pattern, is what I know about me and their relationship. So I just follow the natural pattern and I put that into the script, and then people tend to say yes. Now, if we move from the top 100, you move to people you don't know. No, it becomes more difficult, but it's not a problem, because when you have booked 100 meetings, you're an expert on this and you will be able to think on your foot. But we don't need to teach them the difficult stuff, thinking on your foot, before you've gone through the first top 100 list. So obviously, if I'm calling somebody that I haven't talked to before, there is a lot more that needs to be thought on how to do that. But hey, that's 100 meetings from now, Dessa. So that doesn't matter. You don't need to know that. You learn that in time, and that's for everyone else. You learn that in time. And if there is people that are out in the cold market because you've been around for a long time, I'd actually prefer to get everyone that is new off this Zoom, because they don't need the information.
Yeah.
Just have you on the Zoom to teach you more advanced stuff.
I think Heli will try to help me.
Good, fantastic. Who was speaking? I didn't see you.
Dessa was speaking, yes.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I said like Heli will try to help me. Sorry, I'm just in bed right now. So
She is going to help you. That's going to be wonderful. You'll do amazing.
yeah.
Any other questions, or do we call it a night?
I just want to give a comment. I think it's very useful that you it's so easy to think that everything has been easy for you when you're at that level you are, because you can see, but also to share that even people in the very high levels, that you also have been kind of struggling, and it's not been like this easy march all the time. That also for you, that you have spent, maybe, as you say, sometimes a few days, sometimes, a few weeks, or even to get a person started, maybe even a couple of years.
On Thursday, I'm meeting two ladies. They've been full-time in network marketing for 13 years. They've made millions in commissions in the profession. They needed a new home. They came to Zinzino, and I'm going to talk with them about how we book meetings in Zinzino. So this is easy and not easy at the same time. It's easy for me today because I've done it so many times. So it's just about getting the mindset right and then doing the actions, and then remember the scale. We got to chip in on the scale until it gets into the right balance and everyone books meetings. Yes, Heli, you had a question.
Yeah, I want to ask, this is maybe for us who has done for a while. So this is not something what is so important if someone is new, because they already have a warm list. But I like prospecting a lot. And for example, today I met one woman who I have never met, and we just met in social media, and she has been also as a nurse like I am, and now she started to build entrepreneurship kind of nurse work for her, and we were talking about her dreams and her life, and I was asking questions. We had a coffee meeting, and we had a very nice 1 hour coffee meeting. And so when you do pre-meetings, that kind of pre-meetings that you meet people and you get to know them, when you know that you are in that kind of point that you can have a meeting with them about changing. And now I was giving her as a gift Shine and one lean shake, and she was very happy, and we said that, okay, let's see again, and so on. And for example, one couple, they have children. We have now met them 3 times in park. Someone was just meeting with them today. When we know that, okay, now we are in that kind of point that we can have a meeting about Zinzino.
So 2 things. Don't wait too long. Because if you wait too long, it becomes difficult because then you got to wait like 90 days. So if you have too much conversations, it becomes strange to then all of a sudden flip it to the business side. Unless you have conversations over 90 days, then it's so long that it doesn't matter. Now I use both, okay? So I've got a bunch of people where I just have like continuing, because I've got my pipeline filled. I don't have time. I don't have time to sponsor anybody more. I don't have. So when your pipeline is full, it's totally okay to have them 90 days. The longer you have them before you ask in one way, the better it is. And sometimes you start with just enrolling them as customer, fully knowing that you're planning to bring them into the business, but you don't have time for them in the business yet. Now, in that process, I'd say that you feel that they have an interest, or you feel that they don't have an interest. So if they don't have an interest, you need to book the meeting, because otherwise you will lose them permanently. If they do have an interest, you need to book the meeting because this is the time. And it's a feeling based. Now, my thoughts around this is really more like this. What we do is so good that if I manage to show them what we have, either for them as a customer or for them as a business partner, it is so good that it's valuable anyways. And then in the meeting, look at it in a positive way as a wrestling fight. You can tap out. So if you do the meeting too early, you just cool down, you back down, and you talk about them again. So you don't have to come on your own prospect. You don't, because Hallie is referring to meetings, which is a lot done one-on-one. So if you then have to tap out 1 or 2 matches, that's fine. You just do the third one, and then they will be in, if you catch what I say around that. So I would say number 1 is don't be scared. There is never a perfect timing. So the right timing is when you feel like it.
Yeah, because today I had my laptop with me. I had, the whole health protocol with me, but somehow I had a gut feeling that normally I could do it like right away. And that was actually my plan. But then I had a gut feeling that, okay, maybe I do like this, that I called to her and I asked, okay, can we have a business meeting around this? And today I had a feeling that first I want to know who sees. But if I think what I have done before, I would more likely to do the meeting right away, but I just didn't do it today. And then I started to think about, did I do right or wrong?
So from my perspective, I've got 2 angles that I lead with 90% plus of the time. It's either the angle where I find their health interest. So I will know that they're ready to get a presentation when they talk to me about all the things that they want to do with their health and other people's health. So there is many angles into that. It's the whole COVID discussion. It's the whole discussion about kids that are not growing up normally anymore. They're all using all kinds of drugs. And people, so there is many angles into it that is just, or you lead with the media, like why is every newspaper every day filled with people that want to lose weight? Well, and you can use data from Finland and Norway, and 74% of all the people in Finland have a weight problem. When we go to the gym, so that's the health angle. So you talk about it, you drip on it until they want to lead the conversation. When they want to lead the conversation, they're ready to join your movement. Are you catching that?
Yes, and we had that kind of conversations today. 2 nurses were meeting, and it was.
Right. Then number 2 is the business angle. So I interview them about what they want to do. They ask me about what I've done until they tell me that, hey, I really want to build a business, or I really want to go and realize my dream. I'm tired of, like, I'll never get to where I want to go in the job that I have. So either that they go very negative, then they're ready, or that they go very positive, then they're ready. So positive, opportunistic, about a business, about a future. Negative, about, I hate my job, I don't like this lifestyle, I would like more vacation, and so on. So either two. So that's my two main conversations. There is other conversations, but those are much more seldom. Personal development, I have with some people, if I met them through a personal development place, I talk about that. Sometimes it's professional, like that they have a specific profession that interests me. Matti, you have a question, and then we really got to end the call now.
Yeah, thank you. The greatest challenge with this Zinzino has been with me that there are a lot of negative writings in the internet about us.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think we should perhaps put some target about that, so we can struggle those negative thoughts away before those who are perhaps interesting to buy our products will read, and then they have a second thought with them without with that negative also. So we can put some positive efforts in the internet about us.
So two things on that. First of all, this is mainly a problem that we have in Finland. It's not that common across other countries. So just aware of that. So this is a Finnish problem that goes back a few years. So there is not a lot of new stuff there, but it's the old Google algorithm holding it alive. Two things that is good for us is that people are constantly now dropping out of Google. They're using ChatGPT and Grok instead, and they're very positive towards us. So that's one thing. Like I literally have said the last 2-3 months, I can't find anything on Google anymore. It doesn't work anymore. The algorithm is broken. I just find it isn't functional. While ChatGPT or Grok gives me all the things that I want so much quicker with the most relevant links. So that's a positive that is happening in society, Matti. Then the other positive is that during 2025, we're continuing the efforts that we've done over a long time to put more positive things into the media. And Manu has a dialogue constantly with Gabriella about specifically for Finland. Lars is also involved to create more positive news media in Finland. But it is kind of hard in Finland because it's a specific language and you have to get the right thing or you get no traction on it in the media in Finland. So the answer to people when they are like kind of retracting because they find something negative, I think you could become we can all become better at answering it when we have the problem. My favorite way of answering it is that, okay, so you've found now what people out there dislike about it, but did you go looking for anything that was positive about omega-6 to omega-3 balance? Did you go looking for anything that is positive about test-based nutrition? Did you go and look at Zinzino and the success that they have in the stock market? So it's about directing them to do more research since they already did research. I think that's the best way to overcome the problem when you meet it.
Yeah, totally agree.
And then you could then provide them with some links so that it's more likely that they click on it, but also ask them to Google omega-6, omega-3, Google what CNN said about it, Google what you found in this and this show, Google what this Finnish scientist said about it, so that they understand that what's said in the media is mostly not correct.
Yeah, sure. And
Right.
I know all of this about the Google. I have been a programmer over 20 years, you know.
Yeah, and which is like I grew up as a son of an editor-in-chief, and my mother is a full-time politician at the parliament level in Norway for 12 years, 37 years, complete in full-time politics. And whenever the newspapers would write anything about my father, my mother, or any case that they were involved in, or anything about our family, it was a 95% mismatch to the truth.
Yeah.
Only 5% was actually resembling what happened. So that's the other, like with your closest relationships, you know what they work with. So you say, okay, so you used to work at this coffee place. Have you ever had media write negatively about it if you know what story has been negative? You used to have this. So you go and lead them to where they have experienced the misinformation in their own life. And then they understand, okay, so this is most likely misinformation. Okay, this has been 41 minutes, way too long. I have a date with my treadmill, so I gotta go. The treadmill is missing me, or I'm missing the treadmill. Lovely to spend time with you guys. Let's make December great. Let's make it a December to remember, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.